Hi everybody, this is Gabby from Team Death Note, and I am here bringing you a deck profile of Chaos Breaker Dragon with Strides. Now, I know a lot of people say, why Chaos Breaker Dragon? There's a lot of Chaos Breaker Dragon decks out there. He's obsolete. But I'm going to tell you something, I've been messing around with this build. It's a very, very complete different build. There's no Legion in this deck. Dark Zodiac, I have taken it out to put it into my Messiah deck. It actually works very good. Dark Zodiac and Messiah. This deck will be very different. This deck is actually undefeated. It has been going up against Narukami's, Diablos, Revengers. It has went up against what's the other deck? Oh man, Narukami's, Diablos, Revengers. It went up against Sinbuster with Break Ride and Heavy Duke. So yes, let's start this off right here. Okay, first of all, we're gonna start off with the same starter as Dusttail Unicorn. Okay, why Dusttail Unicorn? Dusttail Unicorn, you obviously counterblast one, goes into soul. If there's a lock card on your opponent's field, you get to lock up another your opponent's units. Okay, now we play him because he goes into a soul. He's a Star Vader. So this deck actually relies on Star Vaders being in the soul if you want to do Chaos Breaker's effect, of course. I don't run the other one, the lady one, of the Neutron Star, I think it is, or Nebula Star, because it will be good in the deck. If you planning to use it with the Messiah, with Amnesty Messiah, which you lock two cards, one of your opponents and then one of yours. Yes, okay, but let's keep going. Now, the main boss of the deck will be Chaos Breaker Dragon. We run 4 of him. Everybody should know this card's effect already. Counterblast 1, discard a Star Vader from hand, lock one of your opponent's units. Now, at the end of the turn that your opponent's unit gets unlocked, you Soul Blast a Star Vader, you retire his units, and you draw a card. Now, you can activate this effect multiple times during the time that cards get unlocked. So if it's 2 or 3 that gets unlocked, you have to Soul Blast 2 or 3, draw 2 or 3 cards. Okay, now next, grade 3, which a lot of you will be like, but yes, is Lady Gunner of the Neutron Star. Now, Lady Gunner of the Neutron Star is very, very good Vanguard or Rearguard effect. She's a Generation Break 1. Since this deck strides, she goes very good with it. Now, I get to lock one of mine, and your opponent locks one of his. Now, this effect is basically for free, since we don't have to counterblast, and that's what I'm looking for. No counterblast whatsoever in the deck. That's why she goes very, very good with Chaos Breaker Dragon. She's just another way how to lock for free, and that's what we need. Units to lock. Now, moving on to the grade 2s, we run 4 Technician. Now, for Technician, this card I find it to be very, very exclusive and helpful in this Chaos Breaker Dragon deck. They gave Chaos Breaker what he was needing, which is, a Unflipper and a Soul Charger. So, just by the cost of discarding a Star Raider from hand, this unit gets plus 5,000 attack. So if you have a 7k, if you have a 7k booster behind him, you discard a Star Vader while he's attacking, he's a 21k column. Now, he's no Generation Break effect. That's what I like about him. No Generation Break effect. He does what he has to do. He gets stuff done. That's why we run 4 of him. We run 4 Photons. Photon, hands down, I don't have to explain why he's good in the deck. He's good because he's good. If your opponent has a lock card, you call him to rear guard, you lock another one. It's a free lock. It's like here. Now, this card right here, I'm running 2 Star Vader Colony Makers. Now, why Colony Maker, you say? I was running Heavy Material Dragon. I did not like it. I was running Niobium with the deck. Sometimes his effect will go off, sometimes not, depending if your opponent calls units to the field. So I did not like him either. I run her because her effect can go off a little bit better, which is, you lock a unit with Chaos Breaker. You call her, you can counterblast 1, search your deck for the Limit Break Enabler, which is very, very important in this deck. we run 4 limit break enablers. I'll get that, I'll get on to that a little bit later. But yes, she could call limit break enabler, so that way when your opponent cards gets unlocked, Chaos Breaker's effect is already unlocked where, you Soul Blast 1, retire, draw. So she's very, very good in the deck. We only run 2 of her. And we run 2 Sunset Edge Dustblade. Why Sunset Edge Dustblade? Generation Break 1. When he's being boosted, Counter Blast 1, lock one of your opponent's rear guards, grade 2 or less. So yes, that's why we are running him. And I like the build that this deck has 4, 8, 12 grade 2s because, it makes the deck a little bit more aggressive in attacks. That's what you actually want, attack columns. Now to the grade 1s, we run 4 old school Star Raider Perfect Guards. Why are we running the old school Star Raider Perfect Guards instead of the unflip? It's because they have Star Raider in the name. This deck, is kind of Counter Blast heavy, but we can actually get through that very, very good. It's not like we're going to run out the Counter Blast while we're playing the game because everything comes out pretty nicely, really, in the deck. And that's what we actually like. Stuff to come out very nice, very good, running very smooth. Okay, now, next but not least, we run 4 Limit Break Enablers. This is the card that actually makes the deck very reliable. Limit Break Enablers. Just like I said earlier, you have your Limit Break Enabler out there early, very early game, to do what you have to do with Chaos Breaker. So even though if you go first or second, depending on how your field is, you can, if you go second, you could go in for Stride. If you go first, you could go in for Limit Break, which this is what actually makes the deck very, very annoying and very difficult, to take down. Then we run 3 Stride Enablers, or Stride Fathers, the way y'all will say it. 3 because, basically you ride into Chaos Breaker first. That means, you don't have to ride into another grade 3 unless you want to ride another Chaos Breaker to build up Soul. But, the other Chaos Breakers in the deck is basically to ditch to Stride. But sometimes you'll like to ride them. That's why we'll be running 3 of the Stride Enablers. Then we'll run 2 Chameleons. Why 2 Chameleons? I've tried Chameleon at 3 in this deck. 3 is not very necessary. 2 is very, very good. Just like I said, you don't really need to be unflipping damage in the sense, the grade 2 Technicium unflips, and it's not really that many counter blasts going on in the deck. So, that's good. Now moving on to the triggers. Of course, we'll be running 8 criticals, as always. 8 crits is good. Run the yellow ones. We'll run 4 draws, Star Raiders. This is very important. All your triggers should be Star Raiders. And we'll run 4 heals. Like I said, this deck runs on Star Raider. It feeds its fuel off Star Raiders. Now, last but not least, we'll go into the strides. Now, to go into the strides, we will be running 4 Nebula Big Crunch Dragon. 4 Nebula Dragon Big Crunch Dragon. This card, very, very OP. You can actually, stride into this card, Counter Blast 1, lock up one of your opponent's columns, and you get Omega locked. So, you attack or do whatever. Next turn, for your opponent to build up pressure, he's going to have to call more rear guards. So, if your opponent calls another column, you just go into another Nebula and lock up the other column. So then, by the end of his turn, when this column gets unlocked, you get to do Chaos Breaker's effect, Soul Blast 2, draw 2, then the other column gets unlocked, and you Soul Blast 2, draw 2. It's very, very annoying. I like the way this deck builds, and, 1 SP, of course. We run the SPs. Now, I do not have Amnesty Messiah in this deck. That's why you'll see me run 3 Judgment. Now, the reason why Amnesty Messiah is not in this deck is because I do not have Amnesty Messiah. If I were to have Amnesty Messiah, I'll run 2 Amnesty Messiahs. since, Amnesty Messiah is a very, very good card. You unlock, for every unlocked card that gets unlocked, he gets plus 3,000. If it's 3 or more, he gets a crit. He's a very important stride. I know that. But, since we don't have him, we run 3 Judgment. The deck has been doing good with the Judgment. Judgment actually build up pressure. Your opponent doesn't want to take the hit now because he doesn't want to get locked up and, to get his unit retired for you to draw. And we run 1 Nebula Dragon, Maximum Seal Dragon, just to end games. This card end games, I'm not going to lie. At the end of this game, your opponent will be calling out cards out to the field, trying to take you down. Your hand will be like ridiculous big since this deck draws so many cards. And so you actually have the chance to lock up at least 3 to 4 of your opponent's rear guards, and you'll probably have 2 rear guards locked. So, that's maximum amount of power he gets right there, 5,000 for every lock card, just when you counter blast 1. So he'll be swinging for a ridiculous amount. So, yeah, this is actually my Chaos Breaker Dragon deck build. It's very, very different from anything I've seen. I don't think I've seen a Chaos Breaker Dragon deck build like this. I haven't even seen one with strides, except for, that old Messiah, that very first Messiah, that vanilla one, whatever. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe to Team Death Note's video, and yeah, have a nice day.